June 26, 25. Today is my mom's 90th birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. You know, Agent John, I'm going to tell you this. I was hoping to get my money, and I was going to help my mom 7 years ago. It's going to help my kids. I was hoping to get a letter of a thank you for helping out with this case so she'd be proud of me that I almost died to save my family. My father died, and I couldn't even afford to go to his funeral. And when I got what little settlement I bought his headstone because I couldn't go to Texas. So where yesterday in Rural King, they said they looked up the case that you opened, that it was just an attorney's office, thought they could have me drugged for fake confessions, have me framed, and have me drug, beat, and raped. It was just an attorney's office thought they could do it. Why don't you arrest him? The law is if an attorney is right on Google, sets up button camera stalking you, they are to be arrested. Cyber stalking 10 years. If an attorney has you drugged for fake confessions, they are to be arrested. If they try to break any constitutional right, they are to be arrested. So where they run around telling everybody no one's to believe me, no one's to help me, that is a federal crime. 14th Amendment, you cannot withhold protection. First Amendment, you cannot take anybody's freedom of speech away but a judge in a jury trial. Fourth Amendment, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements and a court order without a conflict of interest. Learn your rights. So why didn't you arrest that attorney's office? The police have said that you wanted their drug connections, and that Bill from the Freemasons brought all his drug connections down here for you to arrest him because you tricked him. I like my damn money. And that where on Thanksgiving of 18, you do realize once they thought they fooled that FBI agent, you do realize they thought he left. And he opened a real case with statements and a court order signed by a judge in the Stark County Courthouse. Witness protection program. Like they said, these people are interfering in an FBI case. Well, they're the predators. Why haven't you arrested them? Attorneys are not above the law. They are held accountable for the law. That if they break anything, they go to jail. Do you ever notice these people do not directly confront me? Why? Why? Because they're just pulling a scam. Like they said in that other town, how stupid do they think we are? They think the whole society is fucking retards. That an attorney's office could do this. You do realize, yesterday, somebody had said that this is how stupid it is. They said when we dropped off John's stuff, I had said March in the tape, but it was actually May, a couple days before we moved out. We were supposed to hand over the keys when we signed the paperwork. We were down to an air mattress, a fan, and a TV. We were camping in our home for about a week. For about a week. We were camping in our home. We're laying there, and they kept changing the closing dates. We had, we were asleep. We used to sleep naked. We were married 33 years. Sleep on an air mattress in front of the fan. It's hot. All of a sudden, first thing in the morning, the fan goes off and we hear a pop. And I looked at him, I went, oh my goodness, I forgot to stop the turn off of electric. We're scattering for clothes. Dave grabs his pants. He runs outside, stops the Ohio Edison guy, has him turn it back on. So we can't get a hold of John. We still have John's stuff in the garage. And it was stuff worth money. So he's like, we got to get that over to John's. We can't get a hold of him. And on the way over there, he calls us. She's leaving me again. Don't say a word. I said, we got to drop your stuff off. He's like, fine. We pull in. We can see her packing through the window. She comes out. Hi, what are you doing here? And we're dropping off John's stuff. Oh, put it against the house. Kids come out laughing and playing hi and waving, and then take off chasing each other. And she's like, well, when do you close on your house? I said, in the next couple of days. We were supposed to close today. I said, and today was a hot mess. Dave started giggling and said, boy, wasn't it? She's like, well, what happened? And I said, well, we were asleep on the air mattress. We were naked in front of the fan. And the electric goes off, and we realized we forgot to stop it. Dave's running around trying to grab pants. He's giggling. He said, I haven't moved that fast in a long time. Ran outside and stopped him. And had him put the electric back on. Or we've been in there with no electric. I said, it was a hot mess scurrying. We're close. And Dave running outside. And Dave's giggling. They said yesterday she thought it was inappropriate for me to say the word naked. Naked Millrut. Nikki, 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 Nikki. Oh, the reason why I said Naked Millrut. My kids used to watch this cartoon called Kim Possible. And this little naked mole rat called Rufus. They used to do a naked mole rat of dancing around like this. Well, of course, my kids had clothes on, but they would be up there doing the little dance with Rufus. They thought it was funny. The word naked is not a cuss word. But she's supposed to be such a godly prune that it offended her. Now, this is the same bitch that this is the same bitch that is friends with my husband's adulterous whore girlfriend. Letting her around the kids. But she proves adultery. The ones that are trying to kill me. But she can't handle the word naked. She's the one that, during their marriage, had several adulterous affairs on my son. My son came home, found her in bed with another man while the kids are in the house, having sex with another man. He walked in and he started beating the guy, and the guy grabbed a gun. And he said, I ended up leaving while the kids are in the house. She's psycho. She's the one that when they got into a fight in August the 17th, threatened to take a gun and start shooting people because they broke up again. And I had to talk her down. If I would have called the cops on her for threatening to kill people, she would have went to jail. Get it? But her church is trying to kill me for Dave to get everything and for Auntie Shell. And she's friends with adulterous whore. But she's godly. And her children like Auntie Shell better. So they've been trying to kill Grandma so Auntie Shell get everything. Psychos. Do you know in the top 10 most dangerous religions, the Apostolic Pentecostals are in the top 10. Dangerous occult. Get it? So I don't die, and she leaves John. We close within 2 days. And 6 days later, someone kicks in my door. And she has her little attorney friend and some guy named Pete Dave hired on his own to set up button cameras stalking me. She should have went to jail. That's a federal crime. No attorney, it's right on Google. Attorney sets up button cameras in someone's home, they're to be arrested. It's cyber stalking. Had men break in, lay strings, and I didn't know they were in my home. Drug me and tell me to say stuff. Beat and rape me. Take videos of me in the shower and Photoshop that in a drug scam, in their own personal scam. You did not have permission from the chief of police to drug, beat, and rape me. You're a filthy liar. where April 6, 25, Dixie was telling Jen that Melissa said the group of people they hired to watch her unaware and to break in and do those things to her. She's part of hiring them. You put her in jail, right? She's dangerous. Having people drugged for fake confession, beat, and raped. Oh, and those people admitted they sold kiddie porn on my grandkids' school body. Tape me in the shower washing it, photoshopping it, and a smartass nut. And they have the nerve to run around and tell people they can't help me. You ever notice they don't say anything to my face because they can't? They fucking can't. And where they said some psychiatrist is running around telling people never to believe me that I wasn't even part of an FBI case. It's no psychiatrist, like they said. It's just some guy saying it is. No real psychiatrist would do that. They lose their license and go to jail 10 years. HIPAA violations. And it's not my doctor. I don't have a psychiatrist. These people need one. They're textbook psychos. Now, you got to think, we couldn't order our refrigerator till we actually got in there. Okay? The refrigerator I wanted wouldn't fit in there. So we had to go pick out another one. We had to order it. We lived out of a fishing cooler for 2 to 3 weeks. All my furniture was at Danny's or a storage unit. It took me 3 or 4 weeks to set up my house. I lived on an air mattress for 2 weeks. They broke into somebody's home that was basically camping in their own home. We didn't even have a refrigerator. I didn't have a bed to sleep in. We went out and bought a sofa. We'd set the living room up so we'd have somewhere to sit. Get the idea? They broke into a home that people weren't even moved into all the way. Now, I want you to think about that. And then I was sick, almost passing out, head spinning by June 7th. I remember being so sick I couldn't even sit up. I was laying on the floor. They were already drugging the hell out of me, almost collapsing in front of the neighbor by the second week. In their drug scam for their cult to get away with murder. Huh? Now, Melissa did not make up her mean game or pretend until they thought they got rid of that FBI agent. Because the police and the FBI came up after Thanksgiving of 18. Melissa's so stupid, she made everything up when you're fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. So that's October and November of 18. The mean game of pretend. Did it in front of the cops and feds. And then on Thanksgiving of 18, in a legally bugged house, they said they wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Papa. And Grandma needed to get out. Look down, they're all in a huddle, saying crazy crap about something about a mom as attorney friend. Okay? I go upstairs, and I sit down, and I'm like, I have to die for Auntie Shell, because Dave said I had to die for his girlfriend. Flora comes running up. They're saying mean things in the basement. Said, stay out of it. I go up to John, what's going on? He's like, I don't know. He said, I told Melissa you're moving out, going through a divorce. She'll just have the kids make up something, but don't worry about it. No one can say anything bad about you. She'll have her church people make up something too. But don't worry about it, Mom. Nobody could ever say anything bad about you. It's just because of going through a divorce and moving out. And I told him that. You shouldn't have said a word until it happened. But I did. And since no one can say anything bad about you, don't worry about it. He shoos me. So I go to Dave. I said, I've never hurt anyone. He said, Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You would never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. Okay? Police and the FBI after Thanksgiving of 18. Now, what did the kids get caught stating in the basement after I went upstairs? They were making everything up. They were games of pretend, laughing sick shit. Sick shit. I had to wait a year to find out. When Flora stated it October 23rd, 2019, when I was at Braille's first party. I said, do you know how mad I was when they, on the third step up, where I heard the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out? Look down, they're all in a huddle saying crazy crap. And Flora's like, that's not what they said. They said this, and it's filthy. Where the police came up to me, and, I'll tell you what, Josh looked at her and said, ooh, don't say that again. It's not true. She said, of course it's not true. Of course it never happened. We made it up. They were games of pretend. I was horrified. Where the police had told me they would make up something, call you a bad word. That's all they tell me. Of that part. Besides, Melissa's so stupid she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. Stark County Sheriffs in May of 21 were laughing where some guy named Kurt was paying for the harassment. Said, if Kurt just found out those kids were lying, he's slow. Because he found out in May of 21 those kids got taped saying they were lying. 8/9/21, the apartment building forming a second close offense. A lady and little girls live there. They were talking about me being drugged and told to say it before, and then 4 or 5 neighbors got together, did a police report. Those kids were even outside. They even told us they were lying. Oh, they told everybody in 21. They thought it was funny, people falling for it, mocking people. Little brats. Now, did anybody go to the hospital? No. Did anybody get pictures of injuries and documented by the police of injuries? Was there a police report? No. Why? Because they were sitting around laughing. Did anybody go to the emergency room? No. Was there pictures of injuries? No. Was there a police report and a police investigation? No. Because the police, when they made it up, were already there for an FBI case. And like they said, how sick is this? Karen's risking her life to get information on these people to save everyone's life. And her family's sitting around laughing, making up stuff on her. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. You can't just say something and you have no proof of it. Nobody went to the hospital. There was no emergency report, no pictures of injuries. There was no police report, no police investigation. Why? Because they're mean jokes. Sick ones that Auntie Shell and Melissa came up with, thinking they could scare me out of my house. Like they said in Rural King yesterday, the police looked up the case with some attorney's office doing it to her. Thought that they could have her drugged for fake confessions, have her framed and stalked, and have her drugged, beaten, raped. And it was just some attorney's office doing it to her. No one had said a word. That agent that opened the case opened it and just let it run, and they think he did it to steal the money from the case. So, October 5th, 21, I'm in Huntington Bank with a client. They were talking about Melissa's lies again. We go to leave. He's like, who's that crazy Melissa? They all talk about lying everywhere we go. I said the ex-daughter-in-law friends with ex's girlfriend had the kids make up some mean games of pretend in front of the police. He said, is she crazy? And I'm like, yes. Maslin, please. Documented mean games of pretend. Huh? Let's see. I was in Alliance. They released Thanksgiving of 18. Those kids saying they made everything up. And they wanted the house for Auntie Show and Bubble, laughing. A video of it in an FBI case. Stark County sheriffs have announced several times. Oh, the FBI is even announced. That was them in the huddle. Right after Thanksgiving 18, Walmart 62 with the police. Why are they having those kids make that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her out of the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke highly of her. March 23rd, 23. FBI agents walk in. They work in the Belden office. Where you thought you scared them away and you fooled the federal agency. They didn't go anywhere. They wanted your drug connections. Because you're messed up in the drug cartel. They came in. We told these people to stay out of this. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. And it was just some lady thought she could make money off of it. Mom had said to any friend, that psycho bitch with the Louisville police on May 30th, 25. 1 o'clock in the morning, how you going to trick Dixie into going to jail trying to extort money from the government? I told on you, bitch. I told the FBI, the Department of Justice, or the FBI. Oh, I did make a report to the Department of Justice, too. NSA, CIA, sheriffs, both counties, so that they know who you are. And it's you. And that you're trying to do entrapment by tricking people to extort money from the government to end up in jail. Now, the FBI already told you. We told these people to stay out of this. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. It's just some lady thought she could make money off of it. That lady with the Louisville police? Let's see. May 30th, 25, 1 in the morning. Bill from the Freemason and some guy named Pete running a drug scam on people. You ever notice they don't say a word to me? Because they can't. It's been 7 years. And then you got to think how sick and evil to have somebody say that about somebody joking around. Melissa's part of having me drugged for fake confessions, beaten, raped, and human trafficked. Why was she doing that? Because her cult's trying to have me killed. She just divorced John. Left him for good. And she's planning on setting him up. And I won't be able to help him. Where they said in the beginning of the case, everything is for Melissa and Dave to get everything. Melissa and Dave. You make sure she has nothing. You make sure she don't get a good job. You make sure she don't find anybody. You make sure you keep her alone and she has nothing. Why? Because they wanted to make sure I couldn't afford to help John. Because she's going to set him up after the divorce. After she dropped off the kids. Dropped them off. He got the kids settled, went in to use the bathroom. She snuck in his house. That's breaking and entering. Waited for him to come out of the bathroom, screamed and lunged at him. Out of reaction and reflex, he pushed her. Something going, she goes like this, blocks herself. Anybody would do that. She looked at him, laughed, and went, now I got you. Psycho bitch. Called 911, had him arrested for domestic violence. Lost his kids for a year. He called me. He's like, Mom, I need your help. I need a reliable name to put on their court records to pick up the kids. I said, John, I'm working 2 jobs. I can barely make it now. I can't afford to quit one job, let alone both. He said, Mom, if I don't have a reliable name, I'll lose my kids forever. For me to even get visitation rights, or not visitation rights, but partial custody, I have to have a reliable person to pick them up. I said, John, I can't. I won't be able to afford my apartment. If I quit one of my jobs, I'll lose my apartment. I can't afford it, my car payment, and everything else. If I don't work both my jobs, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Please, Mom, I'll lose my kids. And he's begging me. And I'm like, John, I don't make enough. I only make $12 an hour at one job. Get the idea? Melissa makes, as a electrical design engineer, $95,000 to $145,000. Out of child support, you get about $12,000 with John's income. She gets about $1,000 to $1,200 per kid. She made over about $40,000 in child support alone. She has close to a $200,000 income on her own, to at least $150,000. Do you know how much I've made this year? Like 12 or 13. I made 11 the 1st of June. Get the idea? I don't make very much money. They wanted to keep me poor, so I couldn't help him. He loses kids forever. That was what the bitch stunt was. He finally moved to Florida, remarried to a beautiful woman. Looks very happy. This was just their sick, demented, twisted, evil plan. You can't just say something horrible happened to someone and you have no proof of it. See, some like Walter Moss, my friend from the Starr County Prosecutor's Office, he said, Karen, he said this whole thing's a fraud scheme. He said where you had bruises, throwing up, and all the signs of being drugged, being raped. You had to go to the doctor for injuries you couldn't explain. And you never seen her talk to anybody. Somebody was hurting you. We all know you're sleepwalking with those date rape drugs. He said, and they probably did, where they're laughing at you in front of people in stores, they probably did drug you and tell you to say something. He said, and when they laugh at you in front of people in stores, that they took a video of you washing yourself in the shower and photoshopped that in the other room. It's just clicking and pasting. It's a big fraud scheme. They did the biggest mistake. They did it in your home. It's a right to privacy. It's a big fraud scheme. Prosecutor's office. It's a big fraud scheme. Melissa didn't have those kids make that stuff up till that she thought she got rid of the FBI. Because I'll tell you what, Carl's granddaughter, her husband was abusing their child. She never hurt the child, but her husband was hurting that child and she didn't report him. You cannot hide abuse long. He went to jail the rest of his life, and she went to jail as an accessory for not reporting it. Now she's never allowed around a child again. So, Melissa's claiming something happened to one of her kids and she didn't report it, so she should never be allowed around a child again. Can't do that to Carl's granddaughter. And not Melissa. Better be thankful it's just being jokes, huh? Because she's claiming something happened to her kid, she didn't take it to the hospital? Bullshit. They didn't call the police? Bullshit. 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 You can't just have your kid say something horrible, thinking you can steal from Grandma so Auntie Shell and Papa can get the house? Huh? I had to wait a year to find out what the mean games that pretend. Like the Massillon police, they're documented mean games that pretend. Stark County Sheriff's in uniform in May of 21 were calling some guy named Kurt Slow for just finding out those kids were lying. They have announced those kids lying in Walmart on the Strip last year, that they taped those kids saying they were lying years ago. Out in Alliance, Carrollton. They're documented mean jokes. She better thank God they're mean jokes, or she would have had to went to jail as an accessory for not helping those kids. And then you would never let your kid back around somebody like that, because then you are in trouble. Think about this. That's how fucking stupid and retarded these people are. It's just some attorney's office pulling a drug scam. They're messed up in the drug cartel. Bill from the Freemasons, some guy named Pete, and probably that psycho lady that was with the Louisville police on May 30th, 25. Pulling a drug scam here. That they could think they can break in people's homes, stalk them. They can't break in people's home. A real attorney breaks in your home, they lose their license forever and they go to jail. Huh? They run around telling people that no one can help you, no one can protect you. That's a constitutional right. You just lost your license. See, Agent John was only to act dumb like these people when he was acting like he, where he had told on me to that church, admitted he met with all those church people and talked to everyone, laughing at me like a jackass. He was only to act that way. April 19th, 25. And you wouldn't believe how dumb these people are. She called the FBI hotline. They immediately walked into an FBI office and confessed they were legally monitoring on their own. That's 7 to 15 years. And trust me, no one ever fell for a dirty doctor scam, taping you unaware, confessing of crimes. Sat on it till Dave wanted a divorce. And it sounded mechanical. We knew they altered it. It's not my doctor. Don't know who it is. My doctor's office said some office had a psychiatrist evaluate me on their own and said a bunch of fraud. I never met with him, never signed consent for any evaluation, nor was I evaluated. They just wrote up fraud. Someone said it's just some guy saying he's a doctor. I bet a real doctor would know they go to jail 10 years. And nobody fell for the tape of weird with yourself. It was photoshopped of washing yourself in the shower. And they photoshopped everything. But if they were going to be that dumb and come in our office and try to pull this on us, we told Agent John to go to that church and act dumb like these people. That's why he's telling people he didn't care as being drugged, being raped. Because someone called me a faker. And it was a medication error. He was supposed to be acting that dumb to get the drug dealers. We even told him to go up to that church and tell on her for he spoke to her. So we could find out who's all involved. And trust me, we all know the gunshot night happened. We realized how not funny this is when the other group showed up and said they worked for a drug lord and Dave fired them. That attorney's office is messed up in the drug cartel, and the FBI and police have been playing them. Like the Massillon police said last month, we were telling everybody to stay out of this so we could get a bill from the Freemasons drug connections. He's so stupid he paraded in front of the cops and feds him with a court order. He's that stupid. Now think about that. So where they run their mouth and people call me dirty words, where are you getting it from? Some guy that drugged me up and told me to say stuff, run a fraud scam on me? Basically. Run a scam on me. Because where's the police investigation? There isn't one. Why? Because in the middle of an FBI case, in front of the police and FBI, Melissa got caught telling the kids to lie, and the kids stating they made everything up. They wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Papa. Laughing sick shit. See, you have to prove injury. There is no proof of injury. You just got a bunch of people lying their asses off to you. Trying to pull a fast one. Thinking that if they just say something, they can steal. Well, she gets prosecuted. Because you have to have proof. You're going to say something horrible happened to your kid and you didn't take her to the hospital? You didn't have the hospital do pictures of injuries and call the police and you let it happen and let that child back around that person? You go to jail as an accessory and lose your kids forever. And that's a big bullshit. You wouldn't take them to the hospital. See what I mean? That's where, like Carl's granddaughter, she never hurt that child, but her husband was. She didn't report him, and she went to jail as an accessory. She better thank God they were just mean jokes. So where you guys run around trying to spread the mean jokes, that's all they are. They were laughing. They told all kinds of people they were lying. And they were laughing that people were willing to help out. Huh? And they made everything up. Laughing. You know how many times in Walmart did the feds announce they caught those kids lying? Do you know how many police departments have announced it? From North Canton, Jackson, Massillon, Stark County Sheriffs, FBI. I was down in Carrollton and they tried to pull this shit. They looked her up. Her kids are documenting me jokes. FBI case. I'm going to upload this.